is a 13th album from the Luxembourgish neo-folk, dark folk-ish project. It is masterminded by a gentleman called Jerome Reuter. I really hope I pronounced that right. And yeah, he basically arranges everything. And God help him, because what the fuck's going on in his mind? It's sonically, it sounds like it's soundtracking battles of axes and swords and important people called Richard. Whereas lyrically, it diaries stories and has themes centered around 20th century conflicts. So obviously, the World Wars. Even samples. I I'm not au fait with my German aircraft, but the really stereotypical. That sounded awful. Uh, that aircraft, you probably know which one I'm on about. It soundtracks that more than once. It opens with a hearty speech that kind of reminds me of when Christopher Lee narrated for Rhapsody of Fire for a couple of releases. And it goes into a new unfolding, which is the first of several times where there's like a call and response segment in the album. And it works well. This is a scene that I know very little about, this like dark neo industrial folk sort of thing. But I imagine like festival appearances, he can get a good response from the crowd with some of the parts in here. Um, and yeah, as like a thing for neo folk, it's described as folk music with an industrial influence. When I went looking on YouTube to try and find like other contemporaries like this, industrial folk is a million miles away from neo folk, which is a weird thing to say, but with this kind of music, it's folk music with just with that industrial backing, like little drum bits or just adding electro layer to the sound. Whereas there's people who take the industrial side of things to literally, and it is just a slowed down industrial album with a bit of acoustic guitar on top of it. So this is a like this is a very much an acoustic led, quite often quite broody folk music with that industrial backing. And like I said, it's got syncopation in the drumming in a song like Black Crane, or which I think Black Crane is a song that talked about pigeons. It is. It talked about pigeons a lot, which first few times I listened to it, it didn't just fucking throw me, it fucking yeeted me out the window. I just didn't understand. And when you listen to it in context, it's all about like carrier pigeons, and it's just I think it's about carrier pigeons because it's based on like what the rest of this album's about. But when you start hearing about pigeons, it does throw you a little bit. Anyway, syncopation in a song like Black Crane, the eerie electronics that carried a song in Fliege wie Vogel, probably mispronounced that like High Heaven. And it's sort of with those like juxtaposing genres, Reuter has been able to create some like hugely dramatic songs. I spoke about Black Crane earlier. It's like a brass backed. It's a bit more upbeat sounding than the rest of the song, but it's a huge sounding song. Oh fuck, track 5. I'm not going to try that. In fact, no, I will. Find, find, track 5. It's just the umlaut on the U fucking throws me. Track 5 on the album is a cynical, it's a group trade-off kind of song, and it's fucking grim is the wrong word, because grim makes it sound like it's a shit song. It's fucking not. This album is incredible, and it's just bleak. I think bleak is a better sound, little better word for the sound. Bleak. Penultimate song is this big swelling war song called Europa o Morte. Again, languages. Fucking Luxembourg has. I have a Luxembourgish friend, and I think she said she speaks English, German, Luxembourgish, which apparently is a long language, a little bit of Portuguese, but I think that's for a different reason, and I think there's French in there as well. So they know so many fucking so many fucking languages. It's really fucking annoying when they put bleeming into one. And it culminates in Descent Vulture, which is, it sounds like a war anthem or a national anthem being played over top of like some kind of OG recruitment video. It's kind of unnerving. As a whole, though, this album is a very dark, it's quite cynical sounding, but it is super pompous and super dramatic. I really, really enjoyed this, actually. And for the part of me that's meant to say, like, oh, if you like this, you'll enjoy XYZ or whatever. This is a scene that I've found out about with this album. So, there was, what was a band called? I did find one, like, contemporary that I could, like, make comparisons to. A band called Estampi, which I don't know too much about. But from me, I feel like if you are into this style of music, you will already know of Rome. But if you enjoy if you enjoy folk music as in general, but you want something a bit, I guess, a bit darker and a bit more emotional, which I know is easy for me to say when it comes to folk music, I think you'll really, really go for this. It's called La Ceneri di Heliodoro. Ah, oh, god damn it. It's by Rome, a project led by Jerome Reuter, and I think it's fucking brilliant. I really, really do.